I am happy that at the end of the day, this lady, if she's not arrested yet, investigation is going on for her pickup. That is my happiness, right? Because if it's a black person that actually did this particular thing that this lady did, which is this white lady, at the end of the day, it should have been a whole lot of topics. By now, it would have gone viral east, west, north, and south. Now, let it make sense to me that you brought your children to the park. Your children are causing chaos. They are causing chaos, and you have to approach a 13 years old girl, and she was respectfully replying you and telling you, "Ma'am, this is what happened. Ma'am, this is what happened." But you still choose to exercise that your full right that you have on this girl. You guys are literally the one that make this girl provoked, and she have to say everything that she have to say. But first of all, I'm not going to be the judge because I'm going to be talking at the end of this video. Let me go ahead and roll out the clip for you guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. With that being said, for disclaimers, this is just for educational purposes. And YouTube, please, I beg you in the name of God, nobody was harmed. Nobody was harmed during the process of everything that happened. Just that somebody will end up in prison. And that should be the person that you guys are about to see. Let's go roll out the clip. I'll be back with commentary.
Authorities in Frisco, Texas are on a search for a big old Beetlejuice-looking Karen who apparently assaulted a 13-year-old at a park yesterday. I know I don't normally do this type of content, but this is real close to home. And so if anybody knows who this lady is, please report her. Watch the footage.
So, we were talking to your child.
Your child came over here saying he was going to get a shotgun and shoot me in my face.
And that was after you told him to shut the fuck up?
No. Whoa. He came over here cussing us out. He was cussing him out first.
Cussing how so?
Saying fuck, shut the fuck up. You need to watch your child. If you're going to come over here and confront a child.
I'm sorry, where are your parents?
Honestly, I know. My parents won't. Don't worry. Don't worry about my parents.
And that is fine?
Don't worry about me. Your child came over here cussing other children out. How about you watch your child and watch your child's language? I don't care. I'm gonna be straightforward because you shouldn't be coming over here saying, "So you're gonna be talking to my child any kind of way?"
Your child? I'm sorry. I need to know your parents and I need to know the phone numbers so we can have a conversation because clearly you don't understand how. I'm sorry. How old are you?
Cussing at us. Okay, your child
You also
ready to get a shotgun and shoot me in my face.
You also know that my son is 8.
Okay. So you need to watch your child. Your child was in this park by himself. By himself. But still at the same time, he came over here messing with us. What point you do not understand that?
I'm sorry.
13, ma'am. That I'm telling you what your child did and how he came over here cussing at us.
He's in 3rd grade. He is in 3rd grade.
Keep saying
He has ADHD.
And just because he's in 3rd grade does not mean that he can go around talking to any other child any kind of way. What point you do not understand that? What in your head do you not understand that? So do not come and step into me. If you want my mother to
I need you to shut your fucking mouth.
Who the fuck are you talking to, man?
Girlfriend, back up.
Who are you talking to?
You want to bring it? You are 13. I am 38.
Get the fuck out of my face.
You want to try it?
Do
not touch me.
You know what? Get the fuck off of me, man.
Let me touch
Ma'am,
you.
get the fuck off of me.
Man,
Guys, get the fuck off of me.
I didn't touch you. I didn't.
No, I record everything.
Yes, come on.
See?
Ma'am, yep, come on. Yep, you got that on video, right? Got that on video. Hey, mama, there is a woman over here who just put her hands on me and who just got in her face. Got in my face.
Sweetie. Every single person here knows you touched me first.
No, you came in my face, ma'am. Don't get in my face.
No, sweetie. No. That is 30. I'm not going to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
No. I never said that either.
Okay, your child came over here messing with us, cussing us out. Don't come in my face.
No.
Do not come in my face. Any in the way. She's an adult like that. That's actually really disrespectful, but I can see.
And her friend said she was being disrespectful, but the lady
I don't care. Y'all keep saying that. That lady does not come in my face any kind of way. What point you got not understand that?
never corrected him.
What? What?
Third grade. I have never come up to a
Okay, I have to talk about that video of the young black girl standing up to that woman at the park because she handled herself so well. First of all, I'm saving that video to show my daughter. Not because of the yelling, but because of how that young girl started the conversation. She was respectful. She explained what happened. She kept saying, ma'am. She wasn't being reckless. She was responding to a situation where an unsupervised child was bothering them, and she calmly pointed that out. And instead of taking accountability, the woman got defensive. When she realized a 3-year-old had just logically called out the situation, she escalated, stepping into a child's space, telling them to stop recording. That's not how adults handle conflict. Recording protects everybody. If you're confident in your behavior, a camera shouldn't bother you. The girl who kept filming, good job. Documentation matters. What stood out to me most is that this young teen wasn't disrespectful. She was assertive. There's a difference. And that's something I want my own child to see. You can speak up for yourself, stay composed, and still stand your ground. That's not attitude. That's confidence.
So all the internet aunties and uncles are proud of that young black teenage girl that stood her ground to that white Karen in the park that approached them. Now, I did see some comments from that other side that tried to say that that young black girl was in the wrong. Now, I don't know if we're looking at the same thing, but as an adult, a grown woman, I would not be approaching children about anything. She thought she was going to go over there and bully children. She's just mad that little black girl told her about herself and her child. You obviously weren't watching your child because you didn't even know he went over there saying things like that. So for you to be in the park, you missed that part. Because she said he wasn't by himself, but obviously you weren't paying attention to him because he was able to go over there and spew ugliness outside of his mouth. But at the same time, she knows her child. She knows how her child is. She just wanted to go over there and bully children. That's all that was. There was no reason to approach them. Now, you could easily was like, where's your parents? I just want to speak to your parents. But she didn't do that. She wanted to bully children. And she got mad when that young lady stood her ground and spoke her piece. Now, one thing I can say to that little young lady is find some new friends. Those weren't your friends, because I would have never got up off the table and left my friend there. We don't know this woman. Find new friends, love. That spoke volumes right there. They did say that she was arrested. I don't know how true that is, but she better hope the cops get to her before that girl parents get to her. Y'all trying to say that young black lady was wrong. She wasn't. That woman kept getting into her face. The girls kept saying, get out of my face. Why, as a grown woman, are you in a child's face like that? A child you do not know. Now, if her parents just happened to whip across in that park, then what? She wasn't wrong. That woman thought she was going to go over there and bully children, and that's not what happened. I'm glad she stood her ground, but she still needs to find new friends.
And I hope that young lady that stood up to that Karen now knows who her friends are. Because the moment they got up and left me, I would have got up too. Because she only spoke up to take up for her friends, right? She only said anything to the Karen because the Karen started cursing at her friend. And then even when the second Karen came over, nothing. They were double teaming this little girl because she was speaking the truth. When the second Karen tells her to shut the F up and her friends stand there and do nothing. When the first Karen gets all buck and stuff like that, hops in her face and grabs her and all of that, her friends still do nothing. And then when a young lady is on the phone with her mother, her friends have the nerve to go, just stop. But she was protecting them in the first place. It's like the same thing when they were sitting at that picnic table. And after the young lady heard that Karen cuss at her friend, she started to speak up, and her friends said her name in a tone to kind of tell her to just be quiet. What? I hope she knows from here on out who has her and who doesn't. And this isn't a color thing, because this could have been a moment of survival and her friends literally left her.
If a white person would have walked up on me and my friends at the motherfucking park after we just cussed her son out because her son called us all kind of bitches and shit, watch what we do. No, because we was real mannish and shit back then. Like, oh, we jumping her. Yeah, we taking her through there. And then as soon as the lady started walking up, the kids started to run away. Bitch, we would have been jumping her. As soon as she would have started, you getting in my face, somebody coming from the side. I'm telling you, immediately somebody's coming, hitting her from the side. They knocking her to the floor. It ain't gonna be too much pushing. It's not gonna be too much yelling either. We stomping you clean out, boo. Yeah, we're gonna teach you about everything you shouldn't have did. Yes, God, honey. Why would you dare walk up on the child? And the child was so fucking respectful. She had so much composure about herself. That was admirable, right? I would have whooped that ass till thy kingdom came back. Just God today, my God on today. Yeah. I would have whooped that ass. Too bad. Not sure. Too bad. You get what I mean? So, it is what it is.
Blair. I've watched it multiple times too. And the main thing that stands out is that grown adults chose to approach, argue with, and escalate a situation with a child, a minor. That alone is a problem. You don't see that? Even if a child is loud, reactive, emotional, adults are expected legally and morally to de-escalate and create distance. An adult inserting themselves into a confrontation with a minor and then putting hands on that child is not justified by the child was aggressive. Children, notice how I said children, are still learning to regulate their emotions. Adults, on the other hand, notice how I said adults, should already know how to do that. Also, context matters. This situation started because why? Her own child decided to threaten some other kids with a weapon. Emotions were already high. And instead of removing her son and diffusing the situation, she decided to approach other children and escalate things further. And that right there, Blair, is a conscious adult decision. Saying the child pushed first when you know the fuck she didn't doesn't really change the responsibility dynamic here. Adults are held to a higher standard of self-control for a reason, Blair. If and when a minor is upset, the appropriate, proper adult response is to step the fuck back, de-escalate, get out the way, move. That makes sense, don't it? Not move closer like she did and get in her face. And at the end of the day, we're talking about two adults versus a child. The power imbalance alone is why adults are expected to handle these types of situations differently. Focusing primarily on the child's reaction, while minimizing the adult's choices, kind of misses the big picture here, don't you think, Blair? Better be happy I wasn't there. That's all I'm going to say.
You're right. They were both in the wrong. But let's actually talk about the levels to the wrongness, because one was immature and a call to throw hands, and the other is a literal threat to a minor. The big son, not the little one, was wrong for being so intimidated by a 13-year-old's maturity and logic that she tried to silence her by telling her to shut her effing mouth. Yep, we can agree she was wrong. But then we had a big overgrown Beetlejuice Becky, the one who A, attempted to intimidate the girl by screaming in her face, B made excuses for her own child's behavior instead of parenting like the girl was telling her to. And C, as a grown woman, looked at the 13-year-old girl and told her to bring it and called her a B. Hit that follow if you're tired of seeing this kind of behavior normalized.
The comments about the young black girl in Frisco, Texas, and that Karen are extremely alarming. And this is why I keep my daughter close, because that girl's friends didn't, okay, have to put hands on anybody. But at the very least, when they got up to walk away, they could have grabbed their friend. You see how easy it is to do preventative measures? They didn't even have to call the police. They could have pulled her away, right? Both times. When the Karen got up to get in her face, they didn't have to say anything to that Karen. They could have just pulled their friend away. I feel like there are so many adults right now that are making excuses, not for the Karen, but for the kids. Because growing up, you're raised like, if we all come together, we're leaving together, right? If one, we all, right? And because there are adults that know in that moment they would have been cowardly also, instead of them just saying, I would have did this, but we could have just did this, they're trying to say that what those kids did was right, and it wasn't. Fight or flight did not kick in for them. They were just thinking of self. They quickly separated themselves. And whether that's the color thing or whatever, it was wrong, because something could have really happened to that young lady. And it would have took 2 seconds for them to save their friend, period.
So I have an update regarding the situation of the woman that approached and got physical with the 13-year-old at the park in Frisco, Texas.
You fucking mouth. Who the fuck are you talking to, man? Girlfriend, back up. Who the fuck are you talking? You want to bring it?
Everybody wants to know about this girl's mother. Where was she? How does she feel about this? And what is going to happen next? Well, on Thursday, February 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on TikTok, I am going to be speaking to the girl's mother live. The girl's mother's name is Crystal, and she agreed to speak to me because there are some things that she just really needs for the public to know now that this story has gone massively viral across social media. Now, because there is some legal things regarding this, she's not going to be able to speak towards the exact situation and the interaction in between her daughter and this woman, just for legal reasons, and to protect the integrity of any possible legal actions that may come about because of this. But there are certain things that she can share and that we will talk about. So make sure you like, share, and save this post, and make sure you show up right here on my page. We're going live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 26th, which is a Thursday. If you're not sure what's happening here, this was a situation that took place February 19th, 2026 at a park in Frisco, Texas. The 45-year-old, who might actually be like 35 or 38-year-old woman, approached a group of teens who were at the park to confront them or question them about what was allegedly said to her 8-year-old son. This altercation went from something verbal to something physical. I'm not going to drop the clip in this video. Just go to my page and you can see the entire interaction there. But I will see y'all on live for the interview. Be sure to like and share this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me. Breathe. Sonia, breathe, because I have a lot of things to say about this particular video. Yes. And I'm saying this personally from the depth of my heart and how I am expressing myself. First, if you have a teenage child out there, You have a child that you know that they will go to park, go to places. Please start educating them about these parents. Start telling them what to expect. In fact, share this video to them so that they will see. Yes. Because let it make sense to me that a 13-year-old had an issue with your son and you were coming to comfort her. I think as a parent, the first thing I would have said is, baby girl, what happened? Because, one thing I've understood about kids, especially those kids that are not well trained, is that they lie too much. Some kids just personally want their parents to have issues, to have confrontation with another person. Some kids just personally want to say something to their parents just because they want their parents to be at their side. Do you get my point? So the first thing I would have just done politely, if there is need for me. I have a 15-year-old, honestly, trust me, there is nothing she do in her school with her mates, be it maybe they have an argument, they have an encounter, that I will take myself, my honorable self, to her school or to a playground or to a park for me to go embarrass myself. Because I know that they are kids, and one thing with kids is the moment you give them just two minutes, they're back as friends. So those are kids for you. They are not adults that we keep this long-term malice and so on and so forth, right? So the first thing I would have just done, if need be, because I think there is no need for that thing that white lady did, if need be, is to literally kindly, respectfully ask her, baby girl, what really happened? Don't you know that he is actually supposed to be your brother? Don't you know that she's actually supposed to be your sister? What happened? What transpired? Oh, ma'am, this is actually what happened. This is actually what happened. Even if this black kid is wrong, for the fact that they are kids, that's my point. That's the point that people are not getting, right? For the fact that they are kids, I don't care. I will try my possible best to settle things amicably, to make them love each other, to make them respect each other, to make them see each other as one. As long as they're kids. Now, let me give you guys a backstory. My baby girl she came back from school. There was a day she came back from school, and the first thing she started lamenting is, oh, I don't want, those my friends, they're no longer my friends again, blah, 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 blah. They like talking about me. They gossip about me. Like I said, I have a 15-year-old, right? They gossip about me. They do this about me. They do that about me. And I just allowed her to finish unleashing. And just for me to please her at that particular moment, what I literally did was, and I started saying, don't worry, tomorrow we'll go to your school. We're going to address that issue. Why would they talk about my baby? Why would they do this about my baby? Why would they make my baby feel uncomfortable? That was what I was saying. Now, I was just saying that to calm her spirits down, to calm her down, to make her know that, yes, I still got your back. Do you get? Now, what did I do? The next day, I drove down to the school. And when I drove down to the school, I told the principal, this was actually what I came for. Can you please gather the keys for me? So my baby she was happy that I was in school, maybe thinking I want to come and unleash or bring down the kids or beat the kids, blah, blah, blah. She didn't know what was coming. And the moment they brought those keys to me, I started with, you guys are best friends. You guys are friends. Why are you people having issues? And she was like looking at me. She was like, no, that was... I said, just calm down. Let me talk. So what's the problem? I have to hear from the other side. She said, no, we didn't talk about her. Maybe okay, maybe there's an insecurity. You talked about her. You didn't talk about her. Blah, blah, blah. That is over right now. Why I am here is because I want you guys to make peace, right? I want you guys to see each other as sisters. I want you guys to see each other as friends. In fact, if there is anybody talking about... My baby's name is Destiny, right? There's anybody talking about Destiny? You should be able to stand up for her. You should be able to defend her. Not you people talking about her, and not she also talking about you people. You people are one. I made them see reasons why they should be loved. Guess what I did? Before I left the school, I have to give the principal some money. I said, once the parents of these children permit, please distribute this money to them. And they collected the money happily. The next Saturday, they came to my house, playing, laughing, gisting with their friends, as if nothing happened. As if nothing happened. Just imagine I went there to embarrass myself and I started screaming, shouting, bringing down heaven and earth. Do you think by now it would have been sorted out? Probably the kids might be having issues with me as a mother, but with she as my child, they will be friends, they will be playing, they will be talking. So whenever it comes to children issues, I trade with caution. I so much trade with caution. I don't just jump into conclusion. I don't just start yelling. I don't just start shouting, because you are also a kid. A 13 years old, she's a kid. She's a baby. She needs to be nurtured as well. So the first thing that that woman would have done was just to politely handle this with maturity and love. But she did not handle it with maturity and love, because the moment she's coming, she saw that it's a black girl. Everything about her changed. That is just the truth. That is just the truth. Everything about her countenance, everything, her body system, this gesture, everything about her changed. And when this 13 years old saw what was coming, she also have to be prepared to give her words, because she knew that this woman is not coming to make peace. She's not coming to ask what the problem is. She's not coming to make me look like I'm also a kid. So since she's coming like this, I'm also going to be addressing things like this. So, and that is why I literally do not blame this black girl. Honestly, some white folks should learn to understand that kids are kids. There is nothing you can do about it. I've seen different videos about kids where there was actually a video I even saw where this black kid was just playing with this particular white kid, and the next thing, the white kid is already putting her teeth on her. And I was like, that's crazy. That is crazy. And that's the problem we have in today's society. Because the moment the mother defends, the child will be saying behind the scene, oh, she defended me. The moment the mother is showing the Karen inside of her, the child will also learn the Karen that she is. Can we just learn to do better? Can we learn to make our children love one another? I saw a lot of people comment in the comments section on the TikTok videos where a lot of people were like, oh, that girl is actually wrong. Why would she do that? She's talking rudely, blah, blah, blah. That girl was never rude. That girl was pretty calm. She was trying to explain until the other one came and shouted and said, shut the F up. Like, I don't understand the ghost, the audacity, thinking that she's a 13 years and she cannot just say anything. Right now, probably your ex must have been sitting in jail, or you're about to go to prison, or you're about to face judgment, whichever one you're facing. Honestly, congratulations to you. And you guys, if you've not seen the full interview with the girl's mother, I actually put out, which is the last two pictures you guys saw, where you can literally check it out on YouTube here. The video is about an hour video, but you can press the ×2. I don't want to inculcate it in my video here since it's too long and I don't know how to make you guys understand the full gist. But let me know what you think in the comment section, and credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, joining my membership. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are absolutely the best, and thank you so much for staying stick and hook with me to the end of this video. And yes guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.